Hi everyone, my name is Sandra Ireles. This is my project presentation and I'll be interviewing Mr. Guy Francois. Hi Mr. Guy.
Hi everyone,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
And can you please introduce yourself to the class, please?
Well, my name is Guy Francois. I was born and raised in Haiti. I came to the United States and I'm happily married. I have 4 children. I'm the senior pastor of First Biblical Baptist Church, and also I work for the state as a career counselor.
Thank you. Next question, Mr. Francois. How did you become a pastor?
I would say that becoming a pastor was not initially my goal. Um, it's rather a call because I wanted to study political science. However, God had another plan for me. So when I received my calling, I decided to change my major from political science to theology. And I graduated and I came back to Manatee County. And now, as I stated earlier, I'm becoming the senior pastor of First Biblical Baptist Church.
Okay, would you say that that was a calling or do you consider that as a profession?
It's my calling, and also it's a profession because it's something I intend to do for a long time. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I would not trade that for the world.
Okay, next question. Do you have a role model?
My role model is my dad. My dad is a hardworking man, man of character, a man of value, a man who would do anything to support his family as long as it's legal. I grew up around my dad and saw all the hard work he had to do to support us. He wanted to make sure we have a great education. He wanted to make sure that there's always a roof over our head, that we always have a meal on the table to eat. He loved my mom until my mom passed away. He showed true love toward my mom. So he's my role model. I love this man to pieces.
Thank you. Next question. Based on your life experience, would you say that you're a good follower?
Well, a great man said, before you become a leader, you got to be a follower. So I'll say that at a time, as I stated earlier, I followed my dad, and now being a leader of a church and this community, I say if I were not a good follower, I probably wouldn't be a good leader.
I know for a fact in your ministry you surely or suddenly meet with bad and good leaders. What did you learn from them?
Well, I don't believe there are bad leaders or good leaders. I think that all leaders have their flaws. Certain leaders has like they said, a man is a product of his environment. So when you characterize them and put one in one basket and the other one in another basket, now you're comparing apple and orange. So I think that all leaders have potential. So I would not say that I have met bad leaders and good leaders. I've met several leaders with different opinion, different style, different view, different way of leading. However, that doesn't mean one is better than the other because that same leader that's one may view as bad leader, another group of people might say, "Man, this is a great leader," and the one you view as a good leader, another group of people may say, "This guy is not, really all that people think that he is." So I never want to categorize them as good and bad.
Is it difficult for you to be a leader?
I don't know about being difficult, but I know it's hard work, and it's hard work to be a role model. It's hard work to maintain a level of lifestyle, and also there's a lot of people who's looking up to you, and you want to do things away because others are following you. So it's just hard work. But one has to be disciplined in everything you do.
Thank you. And how do people, the members of your church, respond to your leadership?
Well, I don't know. It's just being a leader. You one has to understand that not everyone is going to agree with what you say or what you do. But a good leader has to have a vision, has to know what he wants and make it clear to his followers. Even if he encounter opposition, but he has to stand his ground. Yeah. So sometimes there are things that I want to accomplish. I encounter opposition, but I stood my ground, and eventually we have it happen until I make it clear for my those who oppose it, make it clear to them that it's not for my personal gain. Everyone will benefit from it, and as a result of explaining it to those followers, sometimes it produce better result.
Thank you. What motivates you to be the type of pastor you are?
Christ preaching the gospel, seeing lost soul become saved. As I stated earlier, it was not first what I wanted to do, but being introduced to Christ, being introduced to the Word of God, being introduced to what matters most. Now, my passion is to see people being educated about the Word. Like the prophet Isaiah say, people perish due to lack of knowledge. And so my intention, my goal is to educate people to be knowledgeable about Christ, knowledgeable about the Word, knowledgeable about who they are. As Paul stated clearly, we have to know who we are. We have to be able to give an answer for what we believe. So that's my main motivation, to just preach the Word in season and out of season.
And I know, as a pastor, not everything, like not everything is good like every day. So how do you deal with bad emotion or bad event in your life?
Well, every day I wake up, I said, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." And that's what Paul said. Paul said, "Rejoice." I say, "Rejoice." So everything that happened for a reason. It's dependent on your approach. It's dependent on how you see it. Someone may see it as something bad, but in everything that happened, there is something good that comes out of it. So when I encounter some trials, I always pray and ask God to please let me see what is it you want to teach me through this. So there's always something good will come out of it.
Have you never felt that you're down in your ministry, that you feel discouraged, you wanna quit?
If I weren't a human, I would say never. But because I'm human, yeah, because every human has those down times. There are times that you just fatigue and just felt like you're just spinning your wheel or you're in a rut. Nothing is moving. And those are the time where you pray more. Those are the time when you get closer to God, because there are times He will get your attention. If everything goes hunky dory, you'll feel like there's no need to pray more. But when times like that come your way, I think just as Christ had done when he was coming closer to face his death, going to Jerusalem, that's when he went up on the mountain and prayed intensely about asking more strength to go through what he was about to face. Yeah, sometimes that happened, but it's when I have to pray, spend more time with God.
Thank you. And we know as pastor, you have a staff working with you. So how do you deal with those people when it comes to a change, when you wanna do some changes at the church? How do they respond, and how do you deal with them?
Well, change is inevitable. Change will happen. That's a part of life. You know, when you were born, when I was born, and the life was different. But now we're facing changes every year. So dealing with people, as I stated, previously, I have to let them know this is the reason that I'm bringing the change. And even if there were obstacle, if people wanted to, were not willing to advance, to move forward with the change, I'll explain to them. I take my time because I think patient is a virtue. Be patient with them, have them understand. Eventually, we usually perambulate and go forward.
Okay, and almost done. As an organization dealing with people, we know that everybody is not at the same level. How do you deal with poor followers?
It depends on what you mean by poor followers.
That means someone, as you stated earlier, someone that cannot really follow rules,
Yeah,
principle,
you know,
and following your dreams, your
it's
vision.
yeah, I understand. Um, as I stated, I don't like to categorize people with adjectives. They are not poor followers. People learn differently, and one has to figure out the learning style. And so, if a leader encounter opposition from someone, a true leader will sit with that person and find out why. What's the reason that you're opposing that? And if he's a good listener, the person will let him know. And once he figure out, he has to convince the opposite side that I understand your apprehension. I understand how you feel, but explain to him why this change is necessary. And when I encounter that, I take time with that person and find out their reasoning for wanting to stand against it. And once I explain it to them and find out their learning style, and then we usually come to a conclusion that it's the best thing to do. At the same time, they may give me reason why they oppose it, and if it's a good reason, I would reconsider it. I would ask other people, give them that reason, and usually, if the majority will say, what, Pastor, Mr. Francois, I was thinking the same thing, but I was afraid of telling you, and I would reconsider. So I'm not this type of leader who just like to throw my weight around and say it's my way or the highway. A good leader has to be flexible as well, and that's how I usually deal with situation as such.
Thank you. And for our last question, Mr. Pastor Guy
That
Francois,
was the last one.
for our last question, as a leader of this church, what's your passion for this church, and how do you intend to achieve this goal, or whatever goal that you have for the church?
My passion again is to see this church grow spiritually, see them well versed, make sure that even when I'm gone, that they could replace me easy. Is to build this church to a level that it reflects God, not to build it to reflect me, but to reflect God. That the members of this church now and future member will know that in this church there's love. This church there's passion. Those people in this church love the word. They spend time in the word. They understand the word. They believe in the word. It takes time, but that's the course that I'm taking. That's the road that I'm willing to take, no matter what, to make sure that people come to Bible study, people come to Sunday night study, and go through the Word with them. And I'm very passionate about that, and I just I guess many people, when they're passionate about something, they would love to see everyone else have the same passion. But me, I just want to make sure people understand who they're serving, believe in Him, know Him on a different level.
And what would be your last word for someone who want to be a leader?
Well, I'll tell this person just believe in what you want, stay on course, find someone that you can model after, Make sure that person will not lead you astray, and just it's a matter of believing this is what I want, and no matter, find the right way to do it. Don't just want to be a leader because you want to have power, because you want to be famous. You want to be a leader to make an impact on someone, and that's what leaders do, to impact someone else, to make the difference in someone else's life.
Thank you so much, Pastor Guy.
It was
It,
my
wa-
pleasure.
it was a pleasure for me to for the interview today. Have a blessed day,
Thank
and
you.
say bye to everyone.
Bye, class. I hope Sister Suna will get an A on that project.
Thank you.